You all know the traditional web. It's basically when you visit a web app, usually you log in there and then an account gets created on the server of this company. And also the data that you create or use in that service is usually stored on the server of that company. And that comes with some problems. You could maybe not access your data anymore if you would be locked out, if your account gets deleted or whatever. So there's forms of censorships that the owner of the service can do, so they can restrict you access or not allow you to share data that you want to share. And there's also the other problem: you can get locked in because your data is there and you want to use another server, but your data is not there, right? And your identity is also bound to that company. So usually you need to keep track of many different identities for different apps. Single sign-on kind of solves this a little bit, but it's more like a patch. Like it still gives even more power over you from the service that actually does the single sign-on. So the idea behind Pubky is to give back that power to you. So your identity is basically a cryptography key pair. So you really own that. And then when you visit a web app, the data is actually not stored on the server of that service, but instead the data is stored on your home server or whatever home server you choose. You could host that yourself, or maybe you have somebody else who hosts it for you, but you have the choice and not the people who run the service. So that gives you a lot of autonomy. Basically helps to not have walled gardens because your data is really not tied to any service, and therefore also you then have no lock-in. Now, what's cool is that you can even switch your home server to another home server wherever it runs at your home, or a friend of yours runs it, and you can still use the same services and still have your data available to that service. And so this also discourages censorship. If your current home server would want to censor you, you could just move to an alternative home server, right? Now, there's a problem with that architecture, which is how do the services or the web apps, how do they know where your home server is? And for that, we use a technology called PKARR, which publishes your address of your home server in a sense on Mainline DHT. And the point of that really, it's like a P2P network, which gives you censorship resistance. So you have the power in your hands to switch your home server whenever you want. And again, you're not dependent on any institution or any service that you would need to use.